How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh.
I'm Logan.
And we coming to you from J.R.Heller Real Estate and Mortgage. And today, what are we talking about?
We're talking about... What are we talking about? Homelight? Homelight.
Homelight.
It's a program through one of the lenders Josh works with on the
loan
side.
The Loan Store. Shout out to Brian Ravitz. Great AE at the Loan Store.
What's an AE, Josh?
Oh, great. Sorry. An account executive. An AE is an account executive. Or it's an approved eligible on a mortgage loan. It depends on the context.
Multiple meanings.
Dude, that's the mortgage industry for you. So many acronyms, so many abbreviations, and there could be the same abbreviation for different things that you're talking about within the industry.
The only one I care about is CTC. Clear to close.
Yeah, baby. That's a great acronym. I love the CTC.
Homelight, man.
Go ahead.
I
Homelight.
think I might be using Homelight here soon if I can't get this one property sold.
It's a unique program proposition that they got going on. You want to elaborate a little bit as to what it is?
Yeah, so I guess it's not the same as cash for keys is what my understanding was when I spoke to Brian.
That's what it seems like it is when you first think about it, but then there's some cool stuff that goes on that makes it not like it.
Correct, yeah. So they essentially will unlock 75% of your equity. So let's say you're sitting on $100,000 of equity, they'll unlock $75,000 and you can use that to go and purchase your next property.
Yep. So this is for somebody who has a house, right? And you're looking to buy something else, and you're in the market that we're all in currently where it's really hard to get offers accepted on properties.
If you have one to sell.
Especially if you have a contingency on there that you got to sell first, right?
Yep.
So what the program allows is for somebody to basically get an offer on their property from Homelight, a secure offer that allows, them to purchase the property for agreed amount. And it's not a cash offer amount like an investor who's going to offer you 70% of what your ARV is or whatever.
It's a market value.
It's a market value, but it unlocks 75% of the equity for you to utilize then as funds for closing.
Correct.
And it also gets rid of the DTI requirements of that second mortgage if you had to hold your property.
Correct. Right? Yeah. So unfortunately, and we'll get into the downfalls then, you still have your double payment for 60 days. Hopefully the property's sold within the first week or two, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
Yep.
And you can go and close on your new purchase with using 75% of your equity.
Yep.
If the property that you are still holding, that you're trying to sell, does not sell in a 90-day period, Homelight uses that offer and actually purchases your home from you
for market value. That's important.
For market value, and then continues to market it until it sells.
Mm-hmm.
When they go and purchase it, you do not get that additional 25% of equity, is my understanding.
I don't think right up front. But once it actually sells, you will get that return back. Correct. Minus, what is it? They keep
2.5%.
2.5%. So basically what it is it's a short-term bridge loan, right? Yep. It's a short-term bridge loan that unlocks 75% equity in your property, and it also gets rid of the DTI requirement on that second mortgage. You still have to make your payments while those 2 months are happening within the listing period. So you have double payments, but really you don't, because your new property that you purchase, you're not going to have a monthly for probably a month.
Well, yeah, that's why it's 60 days, because it's not. It's a 90-day period that you can.
Got it. So you're equating for it. So it's a 90-day period, but you'll only have 2 months worth of payments because the first
paying for both mortgages.
Right.
If it gets to that point.
If it gets to that point.
Ideally, you sell before it gets to that.
And the nice part of this versus a home pad or any of those guys is that Zillow home offers that doesn't exist anymore. the good part of that is they're offering you market value for your property, right? And so it's not that they're going to give you 70% of what the market value is and that's all you're getting. You still are going to recap the equity gain in there once they actually sell the property down the road.
Yep. Yeah. You just have to pay an additional 2.5%, which is, they're offering a service, so that makes sense why they're charging you.
I don't know how they make money on it, quite honestly. I don't even know if they do.
I was gonna say they have to lose money on the program, but they make their money because it's required for them to go
it's ancillary services, right?
Yeah.
The lender, the borrower, right?
Exactly. Yeah. When they go and purchase, then they make their money on the actual loan.
Basically, what they're doing is, it's so hard to write loans in this industry right now that they've created this program to stand out from their competition, other lenders, to gain business. So it really is a good program to take advantage of. And if you're in a situation where you need to sell a property, you want to get the most for it. You don't want to go to an investor and just offload it. And you have another property that you want to buy, you want to close on, right? Yeah. It's a great opportunity because you basically know. It takes guesswork out of it. You don't have to worry about, is my property going to sell in, the next 3 months if I close on this one, even if you could afford it, right? Even if you could afford both mortgage payments, it takes the guesswork out of it, knowing that you have a padding there. The most you're going to have is 2 months of 2 monthly payments, right?
Yep. And then whenever it sells, and then you get the additional equity that was discussed.
And talking about it on the realtor side, the nice thing about the program, for what I understand, is Homelight works with the realtor throughout. So like, even if Homelight buys it, ends up having to, hopefully it doesn't get to that point, right? Hopefully you get an offer and it's sold within the 3-month period. Even if they buy it, they still work with that agent then to sell it, right? So on an agent standpoint, it's a great program to push because, one, it gives your borrower options, right? It gets them, into a new house. It makes their offer on a new house very, very much more attractive.
Correct.
Because it's not contingent on another property selling.
Yep.
And it protects you as the agent on the listing side, knowing that irregardless, you're going to get your commission. You're going to see it all the way through.
Correct.
So
yeah, it helps on both the selling and the buying side for the realtor because you can go in with a contingency-free offer, other than a mortgage contingency, depending upon the circumstances. You could potentially still waive that even though you are obtaining one. But then second to that is on the selling side, you're guaranteed that listing and it's going to sell at some point.
Well, and it's, I think in today's marketplace, it is very, very imperative to have every upper hand that you possibly can get because it's not an easy market for buyers.
No, it is not with the rates where they're at.
I had a conversation, let's pivot a little bit, just talk about market. I had a conversation with a borrower reached out to me over the weekend that has came back, and basically I had them pre-approved probably 6 months ago for a decent purchase too, like $500,000, $600,000 property, and they've been waiting basically for rates to drop. Well, rates have only gone up, and I had a conversation with them over the weekend. Hey, where are we at with rates? Can we buy down the rate? I said, yes, absolutely we can. Unfortunately, now the buy down on the rate now is still higher than what it was 5-6 months ago when they probably should have pulled the trigger. And then the question came up. What do you think is going to happen with rates? Do you think they're going to go down anytime soon? And what I told her was, no, I don't. I don't know if they'll go up, but I don't see them coming down in any big fashion for quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping we can hit 5s. I don't think it'll happen.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't. I don't think it'll happen for a good amount of time. I think that this is the new environment that we need to all be learning to love. And the more you wait, the more you sit on the sidelines. It's like people were trying to pick the best time to enter a market, but that doesn't exist. That's falsehood. It's
time in the market, not timing the market.
Yeah, and if you sway it the other way, what happens if tomorrow fairy dust happens and interest rates go to 5%? What happens?
Everybody's coming out of the woodwork.
So now what? So you have a lower interest rate, but you can't get a property, or if you do, it's $100,000 over what it was yesterday.
Yeah.
You have to look at it at two sides of the coin, right? If things flip, it doesn't just create a better environment for you; it just changes the landscape. That's all it does. So you're just moving pieces around on the chessboard. It doesn't create a better value for you. And I think it's important for people to recognize that.
That's how everybody is in the industry is, date the rate, marry the home.
100%, dude. And I think now things are starting to sit on the market longer, especially, and this is what I told them, especially in the $500,000-$600,000 range.
If it has a 4 in front of it, it's taken
at least in this market, right?
Yeah.
California, I'm sure, is way different.
Yeah.
Their $500,000 homes, I'm sure, are selling like this because the average is 1.5 or whatever. Yeah. But in our marketplace, I think, and that's why we're targeting for flips. We're not targeting anything that's over $300,000 on a flip, like ARV, after repair value.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared. I know for a fact it'll sit. Even if it's the most beautiful house, there's a chance there that it will sit a lot longer. Whereas if you're in $200,000 to $300,000 range,
people can buy that. People can afford it.
Correct. Exactly.
And if it's nicely done, then it'll sell.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because I really do believe that. I think and I'll go on record saying that I think by mid to third quarter next year, we'll be in a buyer's market, meaning there will be more inventory, and things will inevitably switch where buyers have more control.
It's already happening.
Yeah, you can see it.
I have a deal going right now that the buyers have
controlling,
a little bit more control.
You haven't had that in years. It's been years since there's been any control on the buy side.
Yeah.
And I can see the shift happening, and part of it is, obviously it's fall, winter. This happens inevitably, but I think you're starting to see it more and more, and I really do think that the winds are shifting a bit, and I think it will calm down. I think election year has a big play in it too.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty of what's going to happen and who's going to either remain in or take over office.
Yep.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with all markets, stock
100%.
market, real estate market, and everything.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't want to make it political, but I think if a certain party gets in there, then that could really make things take off again.
Yes. It very well could. Well, and it depends a lot too, because, policy. What happened? Because Fed's independent, but nothing's really independent. No. Let's be honest here. Not even just with government. Nothing's independent. Everything is intertwined, right? Yeah. So I think the premise of that, depending on who gets elected, what party in general gets elected, is gonna change landscape quite a bit.
Yep, I
agree. So it'll be interesting to see. You guys should write your comments down below. What do you think is happening with the market now? Real estate market, stock market, crypto. I haven't heard much about crypto lately. What happened to crypto?
Dead in the water.
It died. It had like a $80,000 burst or 80,000% burst, and then it freaking died.
Did you ever hear about SafeMoon?
No.
Elon tweeted about SafeMoon.
SafeMoon?
I think so did Dave Portnoy.
Okay.
So El Presidente. So those two both were like on the SafeMoon. It's some bullshit coin.
Yeah.
And I ended up dropping like $400 or $500. I have like millions of the
SafeMoon, baby.
SafeMoon to the moon.
SafeMoon to the moon. Dude, I don't know how Elon doesn't get in trouble for this shit.
I know.
How does he not get in trouble? Like he's a goat, man. He somehow gets unscathed. Did you? By the way. This is funny. He tweeted the other day on X. He live streamed him playing Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
The game Diablo.
Yeah.
And it came out that apparently he was up until 5:30 in the morning playing Diablo the day he said, "I'm going to buy Twitter."
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
So the dude wasn't even thinking straight. He was like, "Fuck it, I got off Diablo. I just killed this boss. I'm buying Twitter."
That's awesome.
That's how he makes his decisions,
dude. So I have 98 million SafeMoon, and I think I invested maybe $500.
That's just a big number, dude.
Yeah, 98 million.
That's just a crazy number, right?
My total wallet right now is $1.64.
Oh
I lost $500.
That's so nuts, dude. Like, how does that even still surviving at that point?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Well, you never know. It might take off again. Yeah, you never know. I think GameStop was a cool one too. I watched that. I made a few bucks off GameStop. Nothing crazy, but I was riding that a little bit up and down.
Off of Doge.
Yeah. I never messed with crypto. I didn't do it.
I I think I made like a couple $100 off Dogecoin.
Actually, this is important, and this brings back the dude who predicted 2008. I forget his name now, but he predicted he just put $1.5 billion in short bets.
I saw that
against SPD, like some of the major freaking hedges. That should tell you something.
Yes, it should.
I'm about to go short some shit. Like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about chump change. This is
millions upon millions.
1.5 billion dollars in puts on some of the largest caps, like that. Yeah. So that should tell you where the market's probably heading to. A guy like that, he does his research. It's not like he's just playing Diablo all night and then deciding to buy Twitter. He's doing his research, and he's also 100% so far from what I understand on his, and he was seeing things that nobody else saw, probably should have saw, and was mentioning red flags on it for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Dude, that movie is so fast.
Oh, it's an outstanding movie. I love that movie. Especially coming from now being in the mortgage industry for a little bit, understanding how that world works.
What's being discussed.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, dude. And it was, it was inevitable. It was inevitable. I mean, they were doing things that they knew with almost 100% certainty would not work out.
Yeah.
And they were just kicking the can down the road, like, we'll take advantage of it as long as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And it worked out for them, right? Because they got a bailout, so it didn't even matter. Some of them, a few of them, Stearns went under. Anyhow, if you got value out of today's video, please subscribe. Leave a comment below. What do you want us to chat about? If you like Logan's hair, let him know. If you like my shirt, I'll send you one. Do you want to plug your cabinet guy again?
Yeah, Cabinet Gurus.
Cabinet Gurus. Actually, you know what? I wonder if we got a flip that we need to get some cabinets in. So
hit them up. I'll hook you up. Looking for business.
Looking for business. Yeah, we'd love to chat with you guys. Anything you want to chat about, let's get on the horn. If you're interested in real estate, interested in any aspects of real estate, if you like, man, I see everybody in the real estate sector makes a whole bunch of money and they're all so cool and handsome, hit us up. We'd love to chat with you about it. Appreciate you guys being here.